What's up guys, welcome back to another YgoPro duel video. Pure True Draco is currently one of the best decks in the OCG early link format for a very good reason, with Masterpiece being the Cleave Towers like 5.0, right? And the fact that this deck can run triple Card of Demise, triple Duality and triple Desires makes it a super consistent deck. And it's also not vulnerable to your opponent's hand traps like, well yeah, Maxi is 3 in the OCG compared to Zodiac Beasts. They're heavily weakened, of course, but they're weak to hand traps, and yeah, True Dracos are not weak to hand traps. But again, a very consistent deck. The Solemn Strikes, the Solemn Brigade is not too common, yet not a too common choice in the OCG. They prefer the Galaxy Cyclones, for example. Domain of the Monarchs is also definitely something that you could main deck depending on the format. Okay, let's see a few example duels. Right, first example, and I think my opponent gets a start. Yeah, it's good that my opponent starts off, since then you can use your continuous True King yeah, spells and traps, you know, popping your opponent's monsters and or back row with the traps and or spells. So that's good to give you also an extra tribute summon for your opening turn. You know, standard 2DX in today's TCG format, they have like that bullcrap combo with fusion substitute, etc, etc, and this deck doesn't run any hand traps, you know, with Card of Demise not really too great, but you could definitely side deck Ghost Ogres or maybe Ghost Ash in the near future. This is a very good hand. Immediately Desires to get 2 extra options and then use eventually Terraforming. Use one of the True King spells to get first, yeah, to get my, I believe it's Knuckle on my side of the field. So when your opponent activates any card effect, normal, yeah, spell, trap or monster effect, you can search a continuous trap and immediately activate it on your side of the field. So again, providing fodder for a possible tribute summon for your Masterpiece, again, pretty much cleaning your opponent's field thanks to their spells and traps effects of Mystical Space Typhoon or popping one monster from your opponent. Galaxy Cyclone, the tanky, since, yeah, of course, first activate the Knuckles effect to get the search, to search the somewhat Call of the Haunted for the deck. Masterpiece, well, yeah, now thanks to Ghost Ogre, you was able to get rid of Masterpiece. Masterpiece, making it unaffected by monster effects is kinda hard for this deck, unless of course you want to tribute your own True Draco monsters. That's definitely an option, but you know, in the OCG they run triple Stormfort in this deck, and you know, Stormfort lets you tribute your opponent's monsters, so again making your Masterpiece unaffected by monster effects. So in the OCG it's much more easy to make your Masterpiece gain that extra effect. Anyway, first turn Masterpiece, a bit unfortunate that I had the True King monster, the Wind One, in my hand. It's good, especially if you can destroy it with your field spell to get an extra search, and again set it up in your grave to be reborn from your True King Revival Monster Reborn card, you know. I believe here I activated my Solemn Strike a bit too early. Definitely should have kept it, but again, now it's much more easy, right? Talking after the duel and seeing the cards as a whole. But it's not looking too great. Again, he's able to get a few draws off, and you're already seeing the Imperial Order in his hand again. With the Errata, it's still a very, very busted card. Imperial Order can definitely be main decked as well in this deck, since, you know, having at least start your first turn, getting Masterpiece on board, backed up with an Imperial Order is very, very strong against a lot of metagame decks. Yeah, Dryden's too good. Use a reborn card for the Masterpiece. Maybe I should have reborned my True King monster, the Wind One. Use Card of Demise to get extra draws, or try to get extra draws, but run into Imperial Order, so now I know it's pretty much over, right? He still has Dryden to pop the Masterpiece, not unaffected by monster effects. Sadly, not being tribute summoned, and now it's just a matter of time that I'm going to lose this one. So now I started, and yeah, the disadvantage of starting with this deck is that you cannot use your True King / True Draco destruction effects while going second. You can do that. You can pop your opponent's yeah, spell and traps or their monsters, but then again you have to battle against their back row, so it's yeah, a bit 50-50, but It also depends on against which deck you're playing, right? So again, the opponent gets a start. That's a good hand. I believe he again uses the fusion substitute. It's always like 5, 6, 7 minutes first turn. But looking at my hand, this is a very good hand card. Demise, Desires, Duality, all the options for more consistency in this deck. Very, very nice. Eventually gets some extra draws. Again, the Northern combo into Mono Red, etc, etc. Still this normal summon. Eventually goes for a Totem Bird, again a very good choice against this deck, so I have to lure it out first. I believe I'm going to activate Desires first and then set everything and eventually use Card of Demise to get 3 extra options. But again, the Totem Bird definitely a very solid choice against this deck. No monsters, so I'm hoping that I draw into a monster that I can, you know, set the trap, set the spell and then use your Tribute Summon to get something going, maybe pop your opponent's Totem Bird and then use your Desires, etc, etc, but no monsters. So that kind of blows. Eventually I do get a Masterpiece Search thanks to the second field spell, I believe, and the one of Stormfort again. Very good here, making your Masterpiece unaffected by monster effects and I believe spells as well. Very important, but again, Kaijus are still very relevant here in the TCG, so a Kaiju is like an easy out for this. Then again, if the opponent doesn't have a Kaiju to get rid of Masterpiece, it's definitely a very big threat. Now going to use it on the Emerald. Not really sure if he has any outbar. The Kaijus, and you know, of course, they always draw the Kaiju. Must be nice getting outplayed. But yeah, Strike coming in clutch. I think he knew I had Strike, but in the end, again, draw into a Terraforming, which is life. So use the True King spell to pop, yeah, eventually get the Search, you know, etc, etc. Search a second copy of Masterpiece and easily get it on board. Get an extra draw for Succession first. The fact that you can draw multiple cards with Succession is also so ridiculously good. Then tribute it to get Masterpiece on board and then an extra Heat on board, which can search a continuous spells as well. And now this is very, very nice setup and game over. GG, well played. So again, this is currently my build. Feel free to leave suggestions if you have any. Definitely one of the best decks currently in the OCG pre-link format, but you know, as soon as we, or at least the OCG gets more, or when the new set drops featuring more link support, yeah, but still, the Masterpiece, the fact that it's like unaffected by everything depending on which card you tribute it for, yeah, that's too good, even in today's regular format. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.